There may be as many as 100,000 pyramids still waiting to be uncovered. This is why we need to train and field our own archaeologists. The extent of our building here in Northwest Africa is incredible. Scattered all throughout North America along the Old Man Mississippi River and its tributaries are found mounds built out of tons and tons of earth. The people who built them are called the mound builders. These mound builders are the descendants of the same Phoenician, Canaanite, Moabite, and Hamite people as are the Olmecs. In this hemisphere, the mounds and pyramid cities were part of a vast civilization and trade network that spanned from Alaska to Peru and actually throughout the world. We were masters of the 7 seas in all trade. The Prophet Noble Drali said, quote, "The Moors were once a seafaring people and fed the world," end quote. Moor means navigator. We were a vast maritime and land-based worldwide civilization. Our Moorines would first master a coastline and then proceed inland via the navigable rivers. The history of our vast civilization here has been either destroyed, suppressed, or distorted. The journal of the Morrish Paradigm endeavors to set the record straight. This was caused by the mysterious cold people of the Hopewell mound builders in Ohio, of an ancestral figure used as an offering. The Prophet Noble Drali said, quote, "The Moors were living up and down the Mississippi River before the European man came here," end quote. This is a basalt mass found in North Canada. The Chinese and their historical records speak of Buddhist monks coming to America, and in their annals describe the area of the mound builders as the, quote, "country of refined gentlemen," end quote, and says that they, quote, have, in a chapter called The Mound Builder and the Mexicans, it says, "Centuries before the Red Indian appeared on the northern continent, a race of higher civilization dwelt on the western prairies. The mound builders, as they are appropriately called, left their remarkable lines of earthworks from the lower Mississippi to the Ohio. They must have conducted an inland commerce over a vast territory and obtained or purchased mica from the North Carolina mountains, copper from Lake Superior, obsidian from Mexico, specular iron from Missouri, and salt from Michigan, articles which the Red Indians never possessed except by accident." This was taken from the book titled Fu Shang by Charles G. Leland. These are Mississippian effigy head jars. Notice the facial scarification, the same as that found in West Africa to this day. We are the same people on both sides of the Atlantic. The Atlantic Ocean is a giant cosmic mirror. This is an effigy stone pipe of the mound builders. Smoking from these pipes was considered sacred and had ritual significance. Pipes were found at mound builder sites by the thousands. All this information we are showing you is that which was hidden or suppressed by the European. He thought you would never find these things out. This is why the Journal of the Morrish Paradigm is so important. I have totally dedicated myself to the job commissioned to me by the Great Spirit of the ancestors to research all of this scattered, suppressed knowledge and information. For if you do not know the history, you are doomed to repeat it. Raw data or bits and pieces of information means nothing unless it can be organized into a cohesive framework, model, or structure. This is what is known as a paradigm, in this case, the Morrish Paradigm. Here we have another mound builder. Notice again the large earrings, just like those found on the Olmecs, Mixtecs, Mayans, Egyptians, Africans, Phoenicians, Canaanites, etc. These are two Ottawa fur traders. This was painted at Fort Milty, Lamackinac in Upper Michigan in the 1700s. At this early date, they still had their original dark skin and woolly hair. This is a map of the migration route of the Venishmael tribe. The Venishmael were a collection of so-called Indian tribes from the eastern seaboard who were displaced by the Europeans in the 1800s and refused to be part of their social society. These so-called Indians were in fact Moors, as can be seen by their name, Venishmael, and their migration route, which was from places they named Morocco, Muhammad, and Mecca. These parts of Indiana and Illinois are places where there are some of the largest concentrations of our people in those particular states to this day. The descendants of the Venishmael were some of the earliest members of the Moorish Science Temple of America in Chicago and Detroit. Many were descendants of the Lenape or so-called Delaware and Nanticoke Indians who refer to themselves as Moors. There are still some to this day in parts of Delaware who refer to themselves as Moors. The government kept classifying them as Negroes, which they fought against tooth and nail, not because they did not like who they were, but precisely because they knew and loved who they were and knew their inferior status conferred by the slave label Negro. This brother here is a Wampanoag, aboriginal to the New England area of the United States. They have recently won back a great deal of land. This document here was given to us by the Permanent Mission of Morocco in New York. It is an article relating to how Moors came to the New England area in the 3rd century A.D., in the area where the brother in the previous slide is from. The article says that the Moroccans discovered America over 1,000 years before Columbus. With regards to the Moors being in the New England area when the first Europeans came here, David McRitchie says in the book Ancient and Modern Britons that in 1776, the native races of New England were spoken of as Indian and Moors, and our British Indians are also remembered as Moors. End quote. It is often not talked about, but the Moors had enslaved the Europeans before they enslaved us. Their women were sold like commodities as concubines into the harems of wealthy Moorish nobles. It was these bleached-out Moorish nobles who was responsible for the Renaissance and the development of the Europeans. The Medicis are a good example of the Moors patrons of European civilization. This also is the reason for the Moors in the coat of arms of noble European families. Have you ever wondered why some of the members of the Bilderbergers are referred to as the, quote, black nobility? The European nations paid tribute to the Moors well into the 18th and 19th century. In the book, United States Relations with the Barbary Powers, it says that the English, French, Dutch, Danes, and Swedes, and I may say all nations, are tributary to the Moors. David McRitchie in the book Ancient and Modern Britain says that the word blackmail is the result of this tribute paid to the, quote, black army, or, quote, black oppressors, as the English referred to them. In this picture, we see an American captain reluctantly delivering tribute to the Bay of Morocco. The Moors had control of the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, as well as the Pacific Ocean. This is why the Marines sing in the halls of Montezuma, which is Mexico, confirming in this song the extent of the Moorish Empire or the domains of Alexa/Atlantis. This is the front page of the Moroccan Treaty of 1787. Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin worked closely with the Moors in the